all-in elite build or the Pit Demon Devastator. If you want to be fun about it. Uh, so now that I've had a chance to really mess around with the peanut butter jelly time here, um, I was kind of running the basic units like a lot of people, and uh, and I realized very quickly that if you run into any well-coordinated teams that are going to push you all the way to the book, you're going to be real hard pressed to beat the book if you go all in into the basics and the boss. Really, even the boss doesn't do very much damage to the book. It's pretty ridiculous, actually. Of all the four demons, she absolutely does the least amount of damage to the book. Um, it's actually pretty crazy. So, really, the only unit in this, demon setup here is the pit demon. The pit demon does a lot of damage to the book. So, I've actually found that this build actually has a lot more utility than the Tasmanian Devil here. A lot of people love the spin move and the stabby stabby, and it works really well. Don't get me wrong, but for me, now that I've been kind of messing around and getting the hang of the elite unit, which takes a little bit to get the hang of, uh, it is most definitely um, I would say this is probably the very best elite unit in the entire game. Like, maybe not by far, but by a pretty good margin. So, let's go into the abilities real quick. So I did throw, obviously I got a little bit of stabby here, but really I just put these 2 points here so I can get here. So the great capacity for evil, this ability here, probably any build you do, you're pretty much going to have to spend these 5 points because this is really important. Putting your energy up with the match points, it goes up to about like 470, something like that. And she has the most energy by a lot, and it gives you the ability, especially towards the end of the game, when you have all the 5 points into your infernal energy. She can do a lot more useful things aside from just being able to use a lot of abilities and dump a bunch of portals. Like, this is probably one of the more important abilities, you know, in her entire skill tree here. So before we go into the elites, let's go down to the boss. Let's talk about the primal screen. Some people are, I think MIDI, right? He already, did a screen build, right, where he maxed it out, and I've had it maxed out, and the difference between 10% and 15% is almost not noticeable. Like, if you stack a bunch of blight on them, the screen is a pretty devastating move, but I cannot tell the difference between 10% and 15%. So it's actually not really that useful to have it maxed out. The 10% is actually plenty. But this, on the other hand, the Putrefied Potion Pitcher, uh, having this maxed out in any boss build is pretty much, you should absolutely do it. The Potion Pitcher is her very best ability. Um, so it tosses potions, has super long range, and stacks blight like absolute crazy town. So this is super important. Max this out, and then I kind of went all in with you know, uh, balance bar, damage, and health. Pretty standard. Um, and then down here, the immunosuppressant. Um, just the additional 2 blight stacks combined with the survivors. 4 stacks of 7 is pretty. It's actually a noticeable difference without this and with it, especially when you have. I've been noticing a lot of double, because everyone wants to play Mia, right? So I'm seeing a lot of double warrior teams. So it's like they're swapping out, either a leader or a hunter for Mia, and so you got like Scotty or Henry combos with Mia. Um, so you're gonna get a lot of pylons, um, and having this additional stacks, like especially if you're the boss and they're kind of starting to pile on you, you can literally just spam the potion pitcher at them, and you will have massive stacks of blight very, very quickly, and it's pretty awesome. So this is really important to deal with the kind of the warriors. Without this, it's not a huge difference, but it is very noticeable. You're talking about a pretty big difference in how many stacks you can do, and it is noticeable. So this is pretty important. So we got the increased maximum health, damage, and then down here the grave illness. It's such a short from a 1.6 to a 2, like a 0.4 of a point. One thing I noticed is that when I got blight on people, it's still doing in stacks of 2 points. So I'm not sure if it's just doing it by the second. Like, I'm not sure how it's really calculating this, but there is no discernible difference having this at 1 point or having it at 3, in my opinion. It's pretty much, it seems at face value like it's really important because you're just dealing a little bit more damage, but it actually isn't nearly as important as you think it is. So, like, honestly, you could kind of leave this out and use it somewhere else. Like, I could take this out and put it in the Scream, but just having a little bit extra damage, I think, is enough. It's like one of those things, like the stamina, like 1 point is good, 3 points is useless, or whatever. It's kind of the same idea, where 1 point has utility, but anything above that is kind of overkill. Now this is a weird one because every other build I've done with any other demon, the Relentless Evil is ridiculously important. But as it stands now, the Cauldron, aside from objectives in the book, is very situational in terms of its utility and effectiveness because, excuse me, because the ore is really short. The survivors have already figured out to just run away. It doesn't really have nearly as much utility as the other active abilities in the game. So wasting 3 points to reduce its cooldown, I guess it gives you the ability to mess up a few times, drop in the Cauldron and having it be useless. But if you're just more strategic in the map during the match, then this is kind of unnecessary. So it's kind of a waste of 3 points. Now you could definitely, like I said, you could take this point, put it in the Scream instead, but just like everything else, I think this has the maximum utility here. So then there's the Efficient Evil. I have it in the boss right now, and I'm kind of on the fence. I've done it with, I've had it with the elites as well. It's kind of a coin toss whether it's better here or there. It's just, where you want to be, right? So once you start spawning the boss, just being able to toss a lot more potions is way better, I think. So it's probably best to have it here. But I'm still going to do some testing. I may move it to here. I'm not sure yet. So now the elites. The elites, this is another one. This skill tree is kind of weird so far in messing around, like what's actually useful, what isn't. At face value, getting more energy from each attack sounds really useful. But I'm not really seeing a huge difference, even with the 15%. So either it's broken, or it's just not really, it's either broken and not calculating properly, or there's something weird. So there's definitely no difference between 10 and 15%, so you should never have 3 points into this anyway. Like, the 10% is, like, totally fine. So there is a difference between 15% and 5, but it's almost not noticeable. And because we're running elites and we're able to output, a little bit more damage, it kind of doesn't matter. So I just threw the 1 point in this, 1 point into a head start, just to get to here and do my balance bar, my damage, and my health. So, obviously if you're going to run an elite build, you want these maxed out, so they're beefy as hell. And I would say, I don't know, these are like linebackers. The balance bar is ridiculous, and if you can get inside the cauldron, I mean, this guy is an absolute beast mode. Crazy health, 35% additional health. And you know, I don't know. Both units deal way less damage than the other ones because it's really designed to stack, you know, build up your energy so you can do more abilities, and the abilities are where the damage comes from. But that being said, maxing this out 15% and maxing out the damage 15% here, you're going to be doing the concentrated corrosive blast, which I think is probably the very best ability on this skill tree in terms of damage dealing, just straight damage. You know, combining this and this to get like 30% additional damage. Once you kind of figure out this ability, it's pretty rad. It just takes a minute, and I kind of didn't want to, when I was running the basics, I tried messing with this and I just couldn't get my aim well, and it just seemed really stupid and like not useful. But once you kind of get the hang of being able to aim this thing, it's like a missile. Like and it does a ton of damage, and you can stack tons of blight. It's actually probably the best, like I said, the best ability around. So if you're running an elite build, this needs to be maxed out. I have this maxed out, but the stock, I could probably take a point out of this and put it somewhere else. But I'm not really sure. Right now, I don't see any reason to not have this maxed out. You know, again, like I could take a point here away from this and put it down into this maybe. Get a little bit extra. You know, you have a little bit of things you can do to move things around. This is just how I have it. So the stomp is good crowd control, but it doesn't seem to do nearly as much damage as this does. You know, it does cause blight, so that's good. And again, you're getting the additional, you know, 15% here, 15% here, so 30% damage, but it doesn't, even with blight stacked up, this doesn't seem that great, but it's all right. It's enough to kind of bounce them back. Basically, the move is you kind of use this to bounce them back, and then go into this to kind of run away and reposition yourself to come back and, you know, splash them with the corrosive slime or whatever. So now onto this, the possession extension. So you could do like kind of a split build here where you can actually have some utility with the basic units, where you can throw you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points here, and then, you know, 6, 7, 8 to fill this up to get combat fatigue, right? But it's kind of like, where do you pull those 8 points from? It's a little bit hard. You could do it to get this and this, but you know, you're going to be kind of pulling stuff away from other things, so you're kind of not really, like, I think, you know, some of the other demons, you can kind of spread the points across, you know, pretty evenly and have utility from both units and the boss. This seems like a little bit more challenging to do. You know, another build would be to take out all the points from the boss and leave her a deep vault, just to kind of, you know, scare people, but not to do a lot of damage, and then just go all in on both basic and elite units. That would probably be pretty crazy. Definitely something that I don't know if it's probably useful, because the boss is too good to kind of waste it on the 2 units here, but I imagine you could do that, and then you'd definitely be able to have this and this. So kind of on the fence of what's better. 20% damage reduction is good, but I think this 30% you know, reduced infernal energy cost to maintain possessions is better overall. Especially with what we're running the elites here. The reduced cost to maintain the possession is really good. You know, the match you're going to see, you know, I can kind of maintain the possession indefinitely as long as I'm dealing enough damage to keep my energy up. These guys are just absolute beasts. So, yeah. So this is the Pit Demon Devastator build, and let's check out a match. All right, here we go, Castle Kandar. Alright, I'm going to do my traditional loop here. And, drive on over to the tower. Usually at least like 1 or 2 boxes on the way here, but I don't see any. Probably catch one, but alright, we'll go up here, trap this guy, box here. So I do this loop every time because Castle Kandar pretty much spawns you at this spot every time. So I think most demons at this point kind of have a very similar loop that I do. So I'm going to trap this guy here. And then one thing I do, you know, some people run right up to the castle, but my loop, I always go south. So check over here, little box. Usually at least like 1 or 2 more boxes that can like pop your level real fast. So I'm going to go south. And since we're doing this pit demon Devastator, I'm going to go all in on traps as fast as I can. So this guy. So that's it. There you go, right there, right? How much energy she has. You can like pop 2 portals like super fast, and I still have a bunch of energy left. So the box, like this demon has like ridiculous energy. So you can see like doing this loop here, like you level up pretty damn fast. You know, we're like a minute and a half in. I'm already level 4, so. Going south is pretty good, so especially if they end up spawning south, which at this point I don't think they are, it's even better. But the one thing about this, you know, the cemetery here is there's a bunch of boxes and a bunch of traps, so kind of just run around here and just spam the traps, spam the any treasure boxes you find, you know, level 5 already, and they're definitely not south at this point. Definitely saw them already, so I'm guessing since they're clearly not rushing the objective here, they're probably at the castle, would be my guess. But who knows? I think they're probably at the castle, so we're gonna head back up that way in a sec. See some more traps. So here we are. What? 2.5 minutes here. Level 5, like within 3 minutes. I think if we get to for level 6, boom. Within 3 minutes already level 6. So this southern loop, I think, is assuming they don't rush the objective. So if they're rushing the objectives, this kind of sucks. Then you have to like rush your way back up north. But you know, I think it's the best in Castle Kandar for sure. Let's do some more. Oop, missed the box. Missed the box. Get it done. Oh man. Got level 7 in like 4 minutes. That's not bad for like not engaging with the survivors yet. So, but just got there. That piece. So start to move. Alright, time to engage. I need to look at what I'm playing against here. 2 warriors, 2 warriors, 2 supports. Alright, I guess. So, let's test these guys. I mean, seriously. Like, he's got a sword, even if it's gray, Scotty with a sword. Are you kidding me? Like, he's barely. That's what I'm talking about. These beast. My God, Scotty is wailing on me right now. I see he's like level 1. I don't know, but this is what I want to put. What? 2 stacks. And even 2 stacks. You know, damage starts to ramp up pretty quick. They're kind of dumb. They should really be running away, not engaging you. Pop another boom. This is what I'm talking about. Just like maintain your energy and you just wail on them with basic attacks, you know, you're gonna fill your energy up. And these guys just last forever. Right now, I'm wasting the time. Sadly. Again, pylon. Like this build seriously is like anti-pylon. Like this pit demon doesn't give a shit. he's just gonna wail on these dudes. Bad. And boom, 3. Excuse me, vessels, and boom, 3. There we go. Around. If I get him, get him. Oh. So see what I mean though? Like, I'm getting piled on by 3 dudes, and they are. What the hell is she carrying? She's carrying a small weapon. Machete though. Oh, she got the meat hammer. Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but see what I mean? Full energy. You know, just these elite units are. You're not going to knock people down right away, but car time. Let's go. Let's go. Don't discount cars. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, you're done. You know what I'm saying, man? Oh God, I love cars now. Like that just wrecked Cheryl. Look at that. That like took all her life. Seriously, guys, do not discount cars. Definitely does massive damage now. It's awesome. Like when they bring cars to objectives, it's like the first thing I do. All right, after we go, Pablo. Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This build, like I'm thinking I'm like really loving this build. Like, the elites really just like waste tons of time. Like they just won't die. I mean, this team isn't necessarily the best showcase. It's a pretty bad team composition here. I imagine like a hunter with like legendary weapons, and you know, it doesn't look like they have any legendary weapons. So let's try and let's speed over. Get her. There goes your amulet. That's what I'm saying. The cars really do a lot of damage now. It's pretty great. Dude, after 3 months of like having to deal with the annoying bullshit with the cars, like being able to use them as weapons now is super satisfying. Alright, so, okay, map pieces here. Okay, we're about to go to Pound Town. Let's go. Let's go, trapeze. Let's go. Okay, so down. Let's go. Cauldron boss. Alright, it's time to show how ridiculous these potions are. My potion. Is that 18 stacks? Go down so fast. Man, I don't understand how these icons work. Oh shit. I'm gonna just spam some screams at him. And boom! Scotty is not faring well. Build up some more energy. Oh, got Scotty. Nice. How the hell did I get Scotty? Oh, there it is. You're done. Oh, right, and you're done. She's still carrying the hammer. Just give her the shovel. Yeah, look, she's got. Cheryl got the such a legendary shovel, and she didn't give it. Cheryl gave it. Right, these guys deserve to lose. But again, I mean, this energy management, I can't get enough of it. It's crazy. We're going to Pound Town. Just time wasting. I mean, we haven't wasted 11 minutes, and they've not hit an objective yet. Stop. Cannot kill these elites. Like, I'm getting full piled on. Like, any other unit would be absolutely down. Oh, yeah. I gotta kill them all right now. Saying though, my god, these elites, don't underestimate these elites. They are brutal. Done. Catch their breath. I mean, seriously, you can just lay on the pressure. It is absolutely devastating. Pablo, you're done. Come on. I don't know. I don't think this one's going to the book, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, if you're running any other build without the elites, early game pressure, beat the shit out of them, don't let them get to the book. That's pretty much your goal with this Lightbringer, which most of the time is pretty easy, but if it goes to the book, you're in big trouble. I've actually, so far, all the matches I've done with this build, I've beaten them all before the book, so. Yeah, but only a couple of matches were like seemingly coordinated teams, but. Come on. Let's go. I mean, seriously, they're wailing on me. Balance bar still up. Health halfway. Position, so loop around. Get her. Body pinch. Where is Cheryl and Scotty right now? Oh shit, Scotty. Oh, Scotty. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Cheryl disconnected too. And game over. This is what I'm talking about. It is devastating. Pit Demon Devastator build, guys. Check it out. It's pretty rad. Thanks for watching, and